If ever we get into a conversation and I get to ask you a question that has to be answered with yes or no, remember that I would really appreciate you answering me with a no rather than not answering at all. Well, they say that silence means yes. Is it right? Or silence means no? I don't always want to guess if it's a yes or no. And if ever you were thinking that you would be answering me with no and you don't want to hurt my feelings, so you just rather choose not to answer me at all, then I am telling you that I would rather appreciate you answering me with no than not answering me at all. So, in this episode, we are gonna learn the science of how to answer with a no without having to hurt someone's feelings or you know, um, learning to say no rather than to not answer the question at all. So we don't want to offend other people's feeling. That's why sometimes we would rather say yes, even if the answer really is no. But I'm telling you, for your peace of mind and self respect sake, please learn to say no. It's okay. It's okay. I tell you, it's okay to say no. If I ever say no to you, know that it's not against you. Know that it's nothing personal. It's just that I have other priorities at that moment. That's why I said no. So, yep, before we dive deeper, I would like to share some Bible verses that tells us that saying no is okay. In Ephesians 4:25 and Matthew 5:37, the Bible encourages us to speak truthfully and to let our yes be yes and our no be no. So it tells us to have honesty and integrity, which is really, if you value these two, it is very important. And for me, I really value honesty and integrity 100%. So I really do appreciate you doing this as well. And these verses only means or is telling us that we should be honest in our responses, avoiding deception or manipulation. So, if it's a yes, great. If it's a no, it's no big deal. The Bible also teaches us the importance of prioritizing our commitments and responsibilities. For example, in Exodus 28 to 10, God commanded Israelites to observe the Sabbath and rest from their work. And this principle reminds us that it's essential to prioritize our time and energy, ensuring that we have the capacity to fulfill our obligations. So I've just mentioned a priority will always be a priority, and we should always honor our priorities. And in Galatians 6:5, Paul writes, For each will have to bear his own load, implying that individuals are responsible. We are responsible for our own tasks and burdens. And we also have to recognize our limitations and setting appropriate boundaries that can help us avoid becoming overwhelmed and burned out. In our past episodes, we always mentioned or like yeah, in the past episodes we talked about boundaries, setting boundaries so we can avoid being stressed out or burned out. And so part of it is, learn to say no on some things that's not within your priority at the moment. The Bible also teaches us to seek wisdom from God when making decisions, and you can check that on James 1 to 5. When faced with requests or opportunities, we can pray for discernment always and ask wisdom and guidance from God to determine if it aligns, if that opportunity aligns with the will of God in our lives. You guys, it is important to note that, these Bible principles or these principles should be aligned or should be applied with love, compassion, and wisdom. And, while saying no is sometimes necessary, we should always strive to treat others with respect, kindness, and always consider their needs and feelings as well. It is our utmost goal to always avoid conflicts and to always avoid um, offending other people's feelings. But with all due respect, a no is a no, and a yes should always be a yes. And so, yep, here are some tips on how to say no, because I think saying no is an important skill to have in order for us to set boundaries and to prioritize our own needs. And so, here are some tips on how to say no effectively. Be direct and concise is number one. Clearly state your answer without being overly apologetic. Keep your response simple and straightforward. Number two, use a polite tone. Although, you're declining a request, it is important to maintain a respectful and courteous demeanor. This helps avoid unnecessary conflicts and maintains positive relationships because we don't want to ruin a relationship just because we didn't like what the offer was or we didn't want to go to the invite. So it's always can never go wrong with being, or reducing polite tone or being just soft spoken. Number three, express gratitude. You know, we always want to appreciate people for their invites and for the opportunities that they are bringing on the table. And so we want to acknowledge that. And this only demonstrates that we value their trust, but at the moment, we just need to decline. Number four, provide a brief explanation. Although we really don't need to explain everything, or we don't owe any explanation to anyone, but at least a brief explanation or background of story um, would really help so that this person or this friend could understand where we are standing at that moment and why we have to decline the invite or the offer. Number five, we can also offer alternatives. So, if we aren't able to fulfill the request or the favor, we can consider suggesting alternative solutions or recommending someone who may be able to assist. Or, if it's a sale or if it's a something regarding business, we can help this friend by giving referrals, because at the moment we are not yet open to listen to their offer. So this also shows that we are still willing to help a friend, and we can do that in a different capacity. Number six, practice assertiveness. So, in making a decision or in saying no, we always have to be confident with our answer, and we always have to be firm with our response. And so, we avoid being apologetic and overly defensive, and sometimes it would lead to others presumption, or others would be pressured to answer or to change our answer. So we always want to be firm so that um they will not ask again. All right, so here are some examples on how we can say no in a sexy way or in a sexy manner. We can say, hey friend, thank you really appreciate you for thinking of me, but I won't be able to help you at that project, or I won't be able to help you at this time. I have other commitments that will require my full attention, and so I'm really sorry. And then we can also say, thank you so much for your invitation, but I won't be able to attend your event because I already have another commitment for that day. Or we can always say, I understand that you need your help at this moment, but a friend, unfortunately, I'm unable to help. My schedule is really quite full, and I will not have the capacity to do any other task. So, yep, remember that is always, or it's okay to say no when necessary. We have to prioritize our well being first, and we need to be assertive in setting our boundaries. So, there you go, my friends. Thank you for listening to another episode of Your Energy Booster podcast. My goal is just to help you live life as wild as you can, or you may reach your God given potential. So I hope this episode is able to help you with, saying no, and which is a very essential thing to do if you are setting healthy boundaries for your families and friends. So, yep, if you have time, I would really appreciate you if you leave a review, share this to a friend, and let me know for your feedbacks. I love you so much, and may you have a good rest of your day. God bless. Bye.